I suppose the key takeaway that I want is that people really need to, or risk managers really need to appreciate that people are people. And in one way, we can simplistically look at people as having two sorts of mental processes. One is an automatic process, which gets us through 95, 99% of the day. And this is completely unconscious. The other one is what we typically think of as our conscious thought process. The standard way in which we think about risk management is to have processes and procedures. And that fits in with that conscious part of our brain. I have to think of a process that I'm going through. However, 95% of the time, that conscious process is turned off because it actually uses a lot of energy. And we are down at the level of the automatic process. And the automatic process is actually what drives culture. Culture is what happens when you're not thinking. What do you do when you're just on autopilot? And we know that people do this. This is where they spend most of the day. So most of the time, a risk manager's processes and procedures and that, which can be beautifully documented and all that, are not actually going to be thought about consciously. And if they're not down at the level of culture, people won't follow them. They will do what comes naturally to them. And so a risk management system needs to be robust to people not following the processes. And that is way too often forgotten. And if you want a second takeaway, one important takeaway is that it's at the top level of the organisation where the big decisions are being made that a lot of this understanding of process is actually not done. It is difficult to take the risk management standard, ISO 31000, and apply it to the strategic process. We can do that conceptually, but actually the people at the top of an organisation tend to be very overconfident, very over-optimistic. They have a great view of their own talent. And so, hey, I'm good. I don't need risk management. Now, that may not be an overt statement, but it's part of their automatic thinking. They are, because they got to where they are, because of their overconfidence. And so, no matter how skilled they are overconfident. So, yeah, we have to make sure that this process is actually done appropriately when we're looking at our risk management. And that's only two, but I'll stop there. Yes. Well, one thing that has to be done, and this is a point that you brought up previously in other contexts, is that they have to speak the language of these people. A risk manager who can't speak the language of the business can't do risk management, because risk management is actually part, or should be, part and parcel of the standard business processes. And so a risk manager needs to make sure that they're talking the language of the business owners. And so down at the bottom level, a risk manager needs to talk to a janitor as to, why do you need to mop the floor dry properly? Because otherwise people will slip. And so it needs to be at that level. At the top level of the CEO and the board, then it needs to be, is our strategy coherent? Is our strategy actually going to achieve, and it has a likely to achieve what our objectives are? Have we specified our objectives properly? Because this is the direction of where the firm is going. And so you need to have that sort of discussion in their language. That is the only way of making sure that you are relevant and you can speak to the people. I don't like somebody thinking that risk management is actually a career choice, because risk management, as I was just saying, you need to be able to speak the language of the business. And so really, I would like to see anybody who was thinking about risk management to actually have some experience in another business unit and then move into risk management. Or if they want to tackle risk management in some way as a career, then they have to live with the realisation that there is actually a limited career path for them, because they'll be a very technical specialist, but they won't, for example, rise to the level of CRO without getting that business experience in what the business is doing.